Many of you remember me from our last couple of years at the FBLA state convention. I gave breakout sessions and they were motivational talks. So my name is Dr. Terry Kibiloski and I am from Sullivan University. If you remember last year, I talked about how I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And that is so true. I keep learning new things. And I showed you a slide of some of the things that I've done. And it was just all about showing that it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to do different things because that's life. You're going to grow. You're going to have different interests. And in this special time that we're going through, we have all types of things going on. And you may want to reinvent yourself. Also, if you recall last year, I introduced you to my daughter who had a dream, and she went to Ballard High School. And she just decided one day to go to Hollywood and become an actor, which she did. And she did all the things that you might expect, as I told you last year. She waited tables at restaurants, and she was a extra in many movies where, you know, you're behind the scenes. You really don't have a speaking part, but you can be seen. And then finally she landed a position with Criminal Minds, TV adventure series. And she was with them from the beginning till their final episode. And she was on their staff as a stand-in for JJ. So let's talk about what's going on right now. We're in a very, very special time. This is a new time, and it requires new priorities. At Computer Times, my publication, we're focusing a lot on helping people cope with the COVID-19 virus and the stay-at-home orders. But the person who said it best is Plato, when Plato said, "Necessity is the mother of invention." That's why the title of this presentation is Reinvent Yourself, because new times take new ways of thinking. Are you ready for the new you? Well, not exactly what you see on the screen. That's just me being crazy. At Sullivan University, we have different events, and this was our Aloha event. So I'm not really having you go crazy on a new you, but it's a lot of fun. When I grew up, I want you to understand that life was not much different than it is now. We were anticipating all types of changes. We were actually scared. 90 miles off the coast of Florida is Cuba, and the Soviet Union had nuclear missiles pointed at all of the cities in the United States. They were 90 miles off our coast, and we were building fallout shelters, and we had drills in schools to what to do in case of a nuclear attack. It was a scary time. So we've gone through scary times in our country many, many, many times. Each generation seems to have a scary time. This is a scary time for your generation. Now, when I was in high school, when I was your age, the president was John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy really inspired us. He was a young president who had been a commander of a PT boat. And the little picture you see at the bottom right there shows him with his PT boat crew. It was actually blown out of the water, and he became a hero by saving his crew. It's a great story if you have not watched it or read about it, because here we had a president, a young president, who was a wartime hero. And he really inspired the country, and he inspired me as a high school student. And I would like to play a clip, a YouTube clip, so you could actually see some of who he was and what he did.
They had a classical sense going all the way back to the Greek era of what it took to move the body well, without injury, with mastery of movement and control.
Those of us who remember John Kennedy, he affected our lives dramatically. He had a vigor, he had a youth, he had an energy. He took La Sierra High School and made that the poster child of his program to make America a healthy place, because he understood that if America was healthy, physically healthy, it would be mentally, spiritually, emotionally, patriotically healthy.
I welcome this opportunity to speak to the people of America about a subject which I believe to be most important, and that is the subject of physical fitness. And I speak not only as President of the United States, but also as a parent of 2 children who I hope will grow up with those qualities of vigor and energy which we identify with the best of America. This should be a matter of concern to us all. A country is as strong really as its citizens. And I think that mental and physical health, mental and physical vigor go hand in hand.
Ready up! Last 6 foot, 5 sets, start on and ready!
I hope that we will not find a day in the United States when all of us are spectators except for a few who are out on the field. I hope all Americans will be on the field. This is a subject which should be of interest to us all.
It is possible for young men to achieve difficult physical feats if they're motivated in the right direction.
And I hope when we have seen the astonishing results which we have seen, where we've been able in the short space of 2 and 3 months to change the physical habits and strength of our children, that this will spread to every school district in the United States. That all of us will participate, and in so doing will be better citizens and happier ones. This is a challenge for us all. Children, boys and girls, college students, mothers and fathers. And all of us, I think, should welcome it. I hope all of you will join in a great national effort to build a strong and better America through physical effort and through the contributions we can make by the drive and force we bring to our daily lives. Thank you.
We were given a gift 50 years ago. We were given a gift that made our lives better, and we owe it to a cause greater than ourselves to be able to share that gift, to open that conversation again.
It's time to give back. And then we can do that a couple of ways. First of all, participate in helping with this film.
If you have something to give, if there's a resource, if there's some time, effort, money, whatever it happens to be to help make this happen, fantastic. But secondly, we owe it to the next generation and to our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. We owe that.
I think it's felt that the reason that the La Sierra program faded away was that parents lost interest or had some negative feelings about it, and that's a sad commentary on our society.
This is something that I benefited from, that my fellow classmates benefited from, that 4,000 other schools in the nation benefited from.
Well, I came from a broken home. My father was an alcoholic, so home was not good. And when I got to La Sierra, it was good.
And we could overcome both physical and mental fatigue. Now, if you don't think that's important, think about the jobs that everybody has. We're going to be put under stress. We're going to be put under both physical and mental stress. But with this program, I learned that I could endure that. I could go past that even.
I think the La Sierra program would provide that and stimulate these kids physically, which will then improve upon their mental function as well.
Our schools need this so badly right now, and we have the knowledge. We are the legacy.
We all believe that we didn't complete what Kennedy's challenge was to America. And it's time right now with this generation and the next generation to complete that challenge.
John F. Kennedy has a statement. He had many, many good quotes. But the one you see on the screen, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. That really hit me when I was a high school student. In fact, we were in the middle of the Vietnam War. I had a student deferment. I was in college. And I could have stayed out of the military. But that quote of his, what he said to us, really made a difference in my life. And so did the program to stay fit. I ended up joining the Air Force during Vietnam. And over time, I spent 22 years with the Air Force. I was in and out 3 times because I was following computer projects, and I worked in IT Black Ops, information technology Black Ops. But the other thing, Kennedy's challenge to us was to stay fit. In fact, when I was a junior in high school, one of his challenges was to walk 100 miles. That was like a goal, and once you did that, you got a special certificate from the president, I believe it was. And so, we walked 5 and 10 miles a day till we achieved that 100 miles because we wanted to really embrace the spirit of his message. And the spirit of his message was to get fit and to keep moving and to stay fit. And I'm going to tell you, once you find your person who encourages you, you're not going to be the same anymore. Just looking at my keyboard. I'm still fit. I'm still walking. We're talking decades later. Whether it's walking on a beach in Crete or it's taking a shore excursion after a cruise, I'm still walking. So John F. Kennedy, President Kennedy, had a big influence on my life, which lasted for decades. I'm still fit helping others, whether it's giving a massage to someone at a health fair, or it's just helping out a dolphin, letting the dolphin know I care about the dolphin. I'm still fit having fun. This is another costume at the top left there that we have Halloween Day at Sullivan University. And this particular year I was a knight. I've also been a wizard and all types of a werewolf and just all types of costumes. The hat you see I'm wearing, it was one of those rainy days at Derby, so that was my Derby hat. Looks like a bottle cap, but it kept the rain off my head. And the bottom picture you see is me with Gallagher. He's a good friend. Gallagher was known for smashing watermelons. He was a comedian of comedians. And I guess he ran out of watermelons. So who will be your inspiration? You know, as John F. Kennedy said, if you look at the screen, he said, efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. So what kind of new purpose and direction might you have as we're challenged with this worldwide COVID-19 situation? Are you going to get a new view from someone else? Someone who inspires you? Or maybe you're just going to reflect on what's going on and come up with a new view for yourself, where you get new perspectives of what the world looks like. Change is something that we go through all the time. I've talked about this before in my seminars with you, if you happen to be at them in the last couple of years with me, is stability is not the world. The world is change. We have to expect that. We're not taught that as children. We're taught that everything is going to be stable and mom and dad will always be there and everything will be the same, but it's not. Just like the weather that changes by the moment, we change and the world changes. And so we have to adapt to change and we have to look at new perspectives. What are new ways that you found to have fun in this COVID-19 environment? A lot of stay-at-home orders all the way throughout the United States. And while you're staying at home, some people are going crazy, going bananas, because they have to put up with each other. But what are new ways you found to have fun? And then new hobbies. Have you thought of maybe starting some new hobbies? My daughter, who is out in Hollywood, and Criminal Minds, if you don't know, they had their last season. So she's in a stay-at-home environment in Hollywood right now. And she told me she just scanned in probably 8,000 photos over the last 2 weeks. She's taken all the old photos that she has and scanning them, digitizing them. So maybe you have a new hobby that you've come up with to cope with the COVID-19 situation. What about new me time? This is a great time to take time for yourself. Whether it's reading a book or it's taking a bubble bath or it's just thinking. What are you going to do with your future? Has this COVID environment had you rethink your future? There are many people right now who are able to work from home. Other people are out of a job and they're really struggling. So it's something that you might want to think about as far as your career. as they tell us, these type of viruses could hit many, many, many times again over the next few decades. Maybe you want to position yourself for whatever you do, you can work at home. Or maybe you're really inspired to be a healthcare worker when you see all the lives they're saving, or a first responder, or whatever. So it's time to reflect on the situation and then reflect on yourself. How might you reinvent yourself? What's your new vision going to be? Whether you write it down or you record pictures or thoughts on your smartphone, what are you going to do? And even if you don't continue through your new vision today, it will create a timeline for you where you can look back at your thoughts that you journaled, either through writing or through video or pictures or whatever. This is a good time to reflect on what's going on. And new freedoms. Don't let this situation or any situation hold you back. You want to break through your barriers because you set those barriers up mentally. Break through and look forward to that new world that you want to create. The COVID virus is going to go away. It might take a year, year and a half, 2 years of a different type of lifestyle. But our lifestyle is going to return to somewhat normal. It might be a new normal. But we need to look forward and look at how are we going to do things to improve our lives? And maybe the lives of your families. Maybe your parents are out of work. Maybe you're struggling financially. Think outside the box. Think of some of the things you can do as a teen and make money. For example, digitize photo albums like my daughter is doing on hers, but you could set up a business where you could digitize them for other people. When I was about your age, I had a friend who he collected programs from the Indianapolis 500, and he had them going all the way back to 1910, I think it was. And so I went over there. This was before digital cameras. I had a film camera, and I took photographs of all of them for him. So if he ever lost them, he would still have photographs of them. So you could be digitizing photographs for your family, your friends, for people in the neighborhood, for money, where they would pay you to do that. So that might be something you can do to make some money. Customize smartphones. There are a lot of people that have smartphones that have one ringtone. They don't even know you can set up different ringtones for different people or different backgrounds, different apps. You could do that. Might make $10, $15 an hour just to do that. Or edit videos. There are a lot of companies who produce videos, and they need people who know how to do video editing. So if you have that software and you have that skill, understand there's a market for that. You could do that from home. Tutoring. Right now, there are a lot of kids in online education having a lot of problems. And you could offer yourself as a tutor in subjects that you're very good at. You could start with friends and family and neighbors and so on, or you could register as a tutor. There are a lot of sites you can register on. And there is no age limit or to being too young. As long as you know the subject, you can make some really good money as a tutor. So you need to check that out online if you're interested. And then create social media pages. There are a lot of companies as well as individuals. They don't have any clue what Snapchat is or anything like that. They're just barely understanding Facebook. So when we're talking about all of the other type of social media types that you can use, they don't even know that world exists. And so whether it's, some people don't even know about Twitter and how to tweet. These are things that you have to understand you grew up with. But there are a lot of people, and not just old people, but people that didn't have that technology available, that will pay good money to have you assist them in setting up different types of social media, whether it be for themselves or for their business. And then you could transcribe voice. Look on the internet, you'll find a lot of transcription opportunities for people who have voice recordings. What they need is transcription, an accurate transcription. You may have seen, when you see the words on a screen on a movie, they don't even match what they're saying. Well, there are a lot of people that do audios that are looking for people who can type well and listen to the written word or the verbal word, and then go ahead and put that into writing. You can sell stock photos. If you're really good with your camera, there are a lot of sites where you can list your photos out there. And then you can specialize. Maybe you take a lot of photos of horses or different animals, or maybe sunsets or whatever. You just put them out there on these stock photo sites. And many companies are always looking for stock photos for advertising, for all types of presentations and everything. If they use yours, you get some money for that. Then you can manage blog posts. A lot of people have blogs and they don't have the time to manage the post. Posting whatever they want to post new, or answering people's replies to post. There's a big business in that, and there's people that will pay you money to do that. Freelance writing. You'll find a lot of websites for freelance writing. If you're a good writer, if you're creative, you want to check into those websites. Fiverr is a website for freelance skills. That's where you have a skill and people are advertising and looking for people with the skill you have. And so this is something you might want to look into as well. You could sell your creations on Etsy. If you're not familiar with Etsy, you might want to find out about it, because there are a lot of students that I teach that create designs and that create all types of things, whether it's jewelry or they customize glasses or anything like that, drinking glasses, and they sell them on Etsy. And then finally, you can look at Redbubble and Society6. They are both websites that allow you to come up with designs for t-shirts and things you can put on mugs and calendars and so on and so on. And if people use those designs in order to the t-shirts, you get a piece of the action. So these are just a few of the items where maybe you can help out your family if your family is in dire straits when it comes financially to this financial situation we're in, because a lot of people have lost their jobs. So maybe you can contribute in that way and maybe even start a side profession that continues on for decades. This is a new world we live in. This is a world that fortunately we have the technology that most of you know about to get us through that. A lot of people are working from home. Kids of all ages are taking online classes. We have people communicating online via all types of things. We use Collaborate at Sullivan University, where I can talk to the students. You can have FaceTime and all types of other technology and apps that you can speak to people that are at a distance. Sadly enough, we have people in hospitals we can't visit, and that's the only way we can communicate with them. It is a new world, but every time there's a change in the world, there are people like you that have great ideas. And so you might even come up with a new app that could help people. So these are things that you want to think about. Look at every situation you're in, and you're going to have changes throughout your life all the time. Look at every situation as an opportunity. We need to all look at ourselves and figure out, what's my new direction? There is a bright future ahead, I will guarantee that. But you need to think about maybe a new direction for a new lifestyle. Right now, we're all on a different lifestyle. Many people have had trouble coping with it. Others have not. And then enjoy your new self, whatever you come up with, whatever you decide to do, whatever you decide to change in your life, and maybe even help people that you know, your loved ones, make some positive changes in their life. Enjoy your new life, whatever that is, because that's the key thing. Enjoy your life, help people, and every minute of every day, just cherish and enjoy. If you remember in my past presentations, if you came to my breakout sessions, I was writing a book called Lead Yourself to Better Health. It should be published this year, and so I'm doing the final touches. It's pretty much written completely. All the content's there. Right now it's just in final editing. If you're interested in getting a copy of that, I would be happy when it's finally published to send you a complimentary copy. If you've watched this video and you would like to get a complimentary copy of my book. I realize many of you are maybe not working, and once I get it published, I'd be happy to send that to you. As a professional PBL member, which is a college version of FBLA, It would just be sharing basically what I'm doing right now, but in this case in book form. So just let your advisor know that you would like to copy my book, and she can let Connie Witt know, who's in charge of the state get together for FBLA, and she can send me a list of people. So just give me your emails or whatever, and I'd be happy to give you a copy, a complimentary copy of my book when it comes out. It's on four levels, primarily physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And spiritual is not religion, it's all about your spirit energy. And then it also covers social and financial, and it gets into professional stuff. So there's a lot of tips in it. So if you'd like a complimentary copy, just get your name up through the chain and make sure it gets to Connie Witt, and she can give me a list of people and emails, and I'll keep in touch with you then. Remember, though, when we talked about this, if you were at my presentation, and even if you were not, the body only needs 5 things to stay healthy. And that's air, water, food, exercise, and rest, in priority order. Right now, with the virus going around, you want to stay in the best condition you can possibly be in. So you want to get a lot of fresh air outside. Just make sure you're outside in the sun. If it's sunny or even if it's cloudy, get out there and breathe some fresh air. Do some exercise outside. That helps your body bring in more oxygen. You need oxygen. The next thing is drinking water. Make sure you have pure drinking water. Even in the area we're in Kentucky, we have some phenomenally pure drinking water, but you should still filter it. Here in Louisville, where I am, we have some of the best municipal water in the country, but it's still filled with poisons like chlorine and things like that to kill bacteria. I don't want that in my body. So you want to filter all the water you drink. You don't have to go through bottled water or anything like that. Some of that gets pretty weird after it's set a while. In fact, some of it can be cancer-causing, as the military found out when the bottles were out in the sun, and it caused all types of health problems when the military people drank it. So just think about getting a filter. Some of them come for your actual faucet where you can put it on. I think the brand is Pure, P-U-R. We use a Brita pitcher at our house. All the water goes into a Brita pitcher, which filters down through, and then we drink the filtered water. That's the best water you can get right now, and you want to be hydrated all the time. How do you know if you're hydrated? Well, if any time except for the first time or so in the morning that you have to go to the bathroom and urinate, if it's not clear, you're probably not drinking enough water, so you should drink more water. The body needs water in order to purify itself and to get rid of the toxins. The next thing is you need healthful food. That's not fast food. There's no fast food around that's healthful, trust me. They have to put in so many chemicals and everything and so many preservatives just because of the supply chain. Some of that food's been around for weeks, maybe months before it gets to you. You need fresh food, organic if possible. Fortunately, many of the grocery stores now, the organic foods are much lower cost, and some of them are even cheaper on sale than regular food. Why do you want organic? Because you don't want the poisonous chemicals that they put on this food to kill insects and all types of other things. You want it organic, which means there are no destructive chemicals that are going to harm you. So look for healthful food. And then exercise. You don't have to be an exercise crazy or anything like that. You don't have to, exercise 2-3 hours a day. Just move your body through space. You want to get up and move around. A lot of people, unfortunately, get all types of illnesses just from no exercise. You can't just sit around. Your body has to move in order for it to operate. And then finally, rest. Make sure you get plenty of rest. Your body needs that rest time in order to process all the food that you've put in. We're a fuel-burning engine. So put in great food, get a lot of rest, so during that time the body can repair whatever's going on in your system. If you just move your arm, you actually rip microfibers in your arm and your muscles. That's just how we're built. And so when you move, we're going to have to repair those microfibers that have been damaged. And that happens while you're sleeping. And if you're not getting enough sleep, That's not going to happen. If you're trying to lose weight, a lot of your weight loss happens while your body is doing repairs while we're sleeping. So your body is doing a lot of work while we're resting. So air, water, food, exercise, and rest are really key in order to keep us healthy. And we really need to stay at the peak healthiest state we can be in right now with that virus going around. No matter what you decide to do, how you decide to reinvent yourself, live your life on purpose. It's really important that you do that. Purpose is all about, you've got a goal. You've got it doesn't have to be a goal like a dollar amount or anything like that. Your goal may be, everything I do is going to be towards making people happier and healthier. I'm just going to help give back. So ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. But you know what? When you give to others, you give to yourself. You know, you're going to get all that back tenfold. It's really important you understand that. Well, this is a little bit shorter than my normal presentations, because normal presentations usually at the state conference are 45 minutes. But this is a little bit shorter because it's a little harder to watch a video. I understand that. And as Porky Pig always said at the end of the cartoons, that's all, folks. So I'll see you later. All the best to you and your families, and please stay safe. Like to see you, if you're not graduating this year, at the state convention at the Galt House next year. So take care, be well, and just have fun. See you later. Bye.